Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Tuesday, July the 13th, and welcome to our video commentary. Well, if you haven't heard, the Democrats decided to leave town. They left Texas. They're, I guess, on their way or already in Washington, D.C. Exactly what they're going to do there, I don't know, but that's where they are right now. Of course, all of this is because they object to the new voting law that will eventually pass. It's going to pass. It will be signed by the governor eventually. These are simply distractions to keep us from voting for it or having the governor sign the law eventually. I think what's going on is the Democrats are having a lot of difficulties with what's happening in Texas. You know, for years we kept hearing the narrative that the more Hispanic Texas became, the more Democrat it was going to become. That was the narrative. And I think to some extent, they thought that the turning point was 2018, when you had, without question, it was a very good year for the Democrats. I mean, Beto O'Rourke came within 3 points of defeating Senator Cruz. So clearly, a lot of them invested themselves in the idea that this was going to continue. But then 2020 did not continue that. And we've had some recent elections here which have been a complete disaster for the Democrats. McAllen, Texas, a new Republican mayor in a city that is 95% Hispanic. You have the case of the 6th district where there was a special election and not a single Democrat made it to the finals. And then you have, I think, the two biggest stories of the year, Arlington and Fort Worth, two cities here in the Metroplex with Hispanic populations in excess of 50%. And a Republican was elected in Fort Worth by 7 points, and a Republican was elected in Arlington by 9 points. So I think that the Democrats cannot deal with the reality that Hispanics are not just going to vote for them because they tell them that Donald Trump is a racist, which is all they've done for the last 4 years. Donald Trump is a racist, Donald Trump is a racist, Donald Trump is a racist. That's not enough. You know, that can only take you so far. You're going to win your strong supporters with that, but that's not going to make you successful with the independents. And there's a lot of independents in the Hispanic community, a lot of Hispanics who are not really caught up in ideology, they're more caught up in results. And the Democrats are failing with them, and they're going to continue failing with them until they come to face with the reality that the leadership of the Democrat Party sounds a lot more like San Francisco than Texas. And when they start realizing that Hispanic families are very conservative, Hispanic families, for example, are concerned about gas increases a lot more than they are about transgenders. When they come to terms with that reality, maybe they'll start winning elections. But it's not going to happen just because Texas is more Hispanic. That is not happening. That is not happening. And I think that's a credit, by the way, to Hispanics who are showing a certain political maturity that says, you know what, we're going to vote for our best interests. We're going to vote for the candidate who makes a better proposal. We're just not going to vote for somebody because he has a Spanish surname. That's happening, and the Democrats don't know how to deal with it, so they find excuses for this or this or that, but they're losing elections because of their message, not because of the voting law. You're not going to find a single Hispanic Republican who had troubles voting in Texas. They don't have any troubles voting. The only ones who have trouble voting are Hispanic Democrats. Maybe that's the question they should be answering. Why is it that Hispanic Republicans are voting in huge numbers? And why is it that Hispanic Democrats are not? Maybe that's the question that they should be answering rather than running to Washington, D.C. to play this game of whatever the game they're playing. Thank you for watching. And if today is your birthday, happy birthday. Bye-bye, everybody.